You know what I love about basketball in general? How close the crowd is to the players. That does something to the ego of the player. It's not like football. You're as close as I am to you right now.
Sometimes
if you're
closer,
courtside,
yeah.
Sometimes closer. Sometimes they're like on you.
Mm-hmm.
They fall on you. When you're 10, 15 feet away from some random fan courtside and you get embarrassed by your opponent, imagine this. A thotty thought sitting there with their low-cut top on, bodycon dress, oily tan legs, looking at you like she wants to give you the business, boy. Ooh! And you're like, yes, I'm going to get her number after the game. She's ignoring her man. And then right next to her, you get posterized. What do you think that cocktail does to the male ego? Does something. Right?
Yeah.
There's nothing more embarrassing than getting embarrassed in front of someone that you want to have sex with.
Facts.
Just nothing.
Yeah.
You are one of the people that she came to watch perform, and then you got someone's nuts on your face. You couldn't perform. It was like you needed Viagra to do your job. Someone's got to be the one with the nuts on their face, and that was you, and you think you're going to be able to smash after that. You better do something to reply and put that in her mind with the recency bias. Something happens. You know what it does? It makes you want to compete.
Act like you playing basketball. Act like you playing football. Compete. That's what bothers me. Many of y'all are not competing. I need effort. Compete.
I need effort. It makes you want to compete, to ball out, to play hard, to not get embarrassed in front of people that you visually see who paid money to see you. To avoid them getting up right in front of you and walking out the door because you suck. The boos, the screams, the disappointment, the judgment. That plays into how you play basketball. I swear on my life. That's how it is. That's how different it is than the NFL. They're right there. And earlier this season, in the NFL season, I sat down with soon-to-be Pro Bowler Jesse Bates III, who plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, safety. And I asked him what it was like to play with no crowds in the season, and this is what he said.
Do you think the crowd noise has impacted anything for you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think without the fans, it kind of feels like a scrimmage, honestly. I still get that hype, that feeling. I never take that for granted, but yeah, I like when the fans are screaming and stuff like that on a big play. It's kind of hard to celebrate. That's probably the hardest thing is, you make a play and I'm looking up in the stands and I see cutouts and I'm like, yeah, let's go to the cutout. So it was cool. It was cool to have some fans at home last week against the Jaguars. That was pretty cool.
What about with hard counts and stuff that you can hear? Does that make it difficult?
For me, I mean, I'm not really down there in the box as much,
right.
So I'm not really hearing the snap count or what they're saying up there. But yeah, I'm sure for the linebackers, it's a lot easier. I mean, even for quarterbacks, it's a lot easier for them to hear what we're saying as well. So, yeah, that's going to play a huge factor for sure.
Who do you think the lack of crowd noise benefits most? Like which side of the ball or what position?
I would say the offensive lineman. You think about, when you're on the road, you have to use the silent count because it's so loud. And now instead they can actually hear the quarterbacks and the DNs. That usually how they get their get off is a lot better because the O-lineman has to look at the ball. Now they can just really look at them and set and really hear the snap count. So I think that's who really benefits from it. And I've heard that from our O-linemen and the other O-linemen on other teams that's what's going to benefit them this year.
So even the NFL is affected by the lack of crowds, and they're wearing helmets. They're 250 feet away at minimum from human beings that judge them. The human beings that are judging them don't even know what they look like most of the time. They can see them at the grocery store. Imagine, you're going to see that person at the grocery store. No mask on. And they're going to be like, ugh. Imagine how the lack of crowds affects the NBA. A lot. That's the human element of the crowd. The human element of the crowd is what makes basketball. So that to me is why this season is different than any other season. That to me is why you see guys like the Mavs doing nothing. This is different than any year, including last year. Their entire regular season is now like AAU. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or a scrimmage between opposing teams, just light touch. Just walking the ball up the court, walking around screens. That's you, Milwaukee Bucks. This is why the Nets Wizards can hit the over with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, no matter what the number was. The over-under on last night's game was 242. They almost hit 300 last night, Marty. 295.
Yeah.
295. Gross. No defense. No urgency to play defense. No crowds to hold them accountable for not playing said defense. No one chanting, boo! You suck! You're trash! My son hates you! Yikes, right? No one be like, defense, defense, to remind you, yo, D up.
Yeah, there's no way it feels like playing in an actual NBA game. There's no way.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't care how many little screens someone's zooming in. They see you clap. That does not matter. You can't really see them. They can't really interact with you. I saw a stat. This is going to be an insane stat. You're not even going to believe this. The Clippers have shot right around 700 threes this year. And 600 of those threes were uncontested.
That doesn't even sound real. Wait. 600 were uncontested.
600 of the 700 of the Clippers' threes were uncontested. Either that means we don't think you can shoot, or we don't want to guard shooters. That doesn't seem real, but neither did the Clippers losing by 50, which actually I think adds to the point, which is that when teams go down big, they just lay down.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, fuck it. They don't even try to come back most of the time. God bless the Wizards for coming back in last night's game. God bless them. And Bradley Beal, you have to see the highlights. He was fed up. He was throwing the ball. It was bad. He looked like him and KD were going to catch hands.
Ooh.
Why? Why do you see teams lay down? Because they are not embarrassed. No one is in the gym to look at them with disgust. Like, ugh. Ugh. I have, to me, a brilliant idea for a solution. It's a little unorthodox, and you may not like it.
What is it?
I think you give all the olds who have the vaccines in their blood free courtside tickets to the game.
Okay.
Those salty, elderly men and women would love nothing more than to boo and hiss Kyrie Irving for all of his antics, all of his dribbling. They're like, boo! Where's Bob Cousy?
Coos!
Old people, they have no patience for this bullshit. No way. They're already in a bad mood when they wake up. They're in pain. They don't like to go anywhere. Their joints are tight and painful. Ailments aplenty. Even perfect basketball would piss them off. This new school game in person? I mean, they've got to be livid, right? They're just, ugh. They are used to 65, 60 NBA games where it's like two-handed set shots and underhanded free throws. Dunks aren't allowed. This game? Boo! Boo! They've got their cane clacking. This might be the thing that fixes things. Or another idea. Here's another idea. Give the vaccines to the thoughts first. Give them out to the thoughty thoughts. Put them on the court. Licking their collagen-filled lips like, ooh, yeah. Their low-cut tops are jiggling, giving them the fuck you eyes. That might encourage these players to, I don't know, compete. Do your job. Play some defense. And then maybe, just maybe, because sex is the ultimate motivator, we might finally see some real basketball.